Hello, welcome pen friends. Chris here for kind of an off-topic chat, mostly off-topic. I'm sure we'll talk about pens and inks a little bit, but I've been sort of absent and I wanted to do a quick update so that, I could just update everybody at once as to what's been going on. And it has been longer since I made my last video than I normally let go by. So it's been a little bit more than a week and I started getting a little, antsy about that. But I got a couple of topics and I will just loosely probably stay on that. A little index card here with stuff. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was sort of where I disappeared to over the weekend and what I was up to. And what that is about is that kind of spontaneously, I decided to do a no YouTube weekend, where I didn't do any streaming of content and I actually didn't make any content. The only thing I did was answer comments. So because I knew I was behind and I knew that I could go on my PC and go directly to that without seeing anything that was going to suck me in, I just carefully went to my page and right directly into where the comments are. Because I'd gotten into a habit recently, especially since I got sick there in December, mid-December, of really watching more content, consuming more content than ever before. And as my illness lifted, and I got better and the coughing went away, my taste came back and a lot of depression lifted, I realized, I'm like a junkie with the YouTube videos. It's not good. It isn't me. I always kind of like to hop around and watch a lot of different people, but I had gotten way over the top. So when I remembered, what I remembered was, the book Dopamine Nation, where Anna Lembke talks about the dopamine process that she has in her book. Well, I copied it from before because when I quit coffee for a whole year, that's what I did. I followed her thing step by step. So that's what I did, like between Thursday when I discussed this with my counselor and when I realized that I was going to do completely 48 hours Saturday and Sunday without any streaming of YouTube. And I made it specific to YouTube because that's where I have a problem. I don't really have a problem like if Manuel and I sit down and watch a movie and right now currently I'm not into any series. I'm not, doing Netflix to extreme or anything like that. So I decided to do it targeted. And the first thing that I did was look up and see how much I'd been watching or, what my screen time was on YouTube, just on that app. And it was so bad. It was 3 hours and 44 minutes a day. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, some of that was probably streaming the singing bowls and also maybe some music, but I just have to admit that most likely most of it was just me, trying to keep updated and all the things that were going on, in the news and in the politics and things that really, I have people that I like to follow and, responsible kind of independent media that I feel that I can watch without effect, but actually when it goes to an extreme, it takes away your time for everything else. So anyway, her first point says, explore what you're doing, how much and how often, okay? So, normally this stuff is applied to any kind of an addiction, like, alcohol or smoking or, well, anything really, though. I used it for my over caffeine consumption there a couple years ago. So, I looked it up and I wrote it down, 3 hours, 44 minutes a day, heavy streaming, independent media, psychics on politics, etc. I'm just being honest here. I was over the top. So then the next one is objectives. What does YouTube, I filled in, of course, you fill in whatever it is, do for you? That's the O in dopamine. And so I try to keep up with what's happening and learn what I can do. To a degree, it informs me, but it also distracts me. Yeah, I think it's kind of an easy exit, like you're going along and you're either bored or you don't really want to do what you have to do or should be doing. And it's like easier to just stream something, right? And that's me. I'm not talking about you. I'm really, when I say you, it's a collective you and I mean me, but Okay, so then next, problems. Okay, P is for problems here in the little chart. I can put that up closer in case you want to screenshot it, because it's a really good way of looking at things. If you feel like something you're doing is not working for you, it's a good process. So P is problems. In other words, downsides, unintended consequences. So I put down, causes me worry and rumination. I don't get much done. I don't enjoy my day if I'm overloading. And then sleep is not as easy to fall back asleep. Because this is what I was telling my counselor. I said, I'm waking up thinking about some worst case scenario things. And that's weird because, usually I'll have thoughts about projects and creative things, and that's likely to keep me up, So then on the A, abstinence, and Anne talks about 30 days, and it's not that I couldn't do 30 days, but I'm such an all or nothing person that I'm actually afraid that I would sort of lose my YouTube channel by doing that. I mean, 2 days is one thing, but I don't want to be away from it that long. And so later down in the process, I'll tell you what I came up with. But so A, problems. Yeah, I read the problems. So A is for abstinence, and I said 2-day experiment. Stop using YouTube and restore balance. Okay, so Saturday and Sunday, February 8th and 9th, that's what I did. So vowing not to watch anything, consume any content on YouTube until Monday morning, February 10th after 7 a.m. So no problem there because we had to set an alarm this morning for something we needed to do. So I said, no YouTube streaming. You can shoot footage or content only. Well, I ended up just answering comments because I still felt like if I shot content, I would be editing it and I would be in there and I would want to see how it did, and it just, I thought, okay, I didn't have a profound video anyway in me until I do my progress report. So, okay, then next for the M in dopamine, it's mindfulness. Observe with non-judgment as you're doing this experiment, whether you choose a 30-day or a 2-day or even a 1-day, because my counselor reminded me 1 day would be good. You could learn a lot in 1 day, but the 2 days did give me some data. So at 2 p.m., 7 hours in to the day on Saturday, I started noticing the urge to stream, and I was looking around me thinking, what's going on here? I did feel kind of disconnected, and there were some things that I kind of wondered if anything had developed or happened. And so I read one Substack. So reading that, it didn't really disrupt me too much. It didn't take very long, and it was reading it. But at that time, I told myself, I thought, I'm still on a screen and I'm reading this. I wonder maybe if eventually I could have a screen-free weekend, which other than maybe if a friend texts me or somebody calls me, that's different. I'm not going to completely ignore people. So then next I did laundry, I did raking, and I felt a little bit jittery, but being outside was good. And then Sunday we had a family activity. I did a whole bunch of organizing. All 3 desks got, straightened out. I read Heather's Substack. Yeah, I really missed, I was wanting to check and see if Heather Cox Richardson had another video, which this morning there was one there. So yeah, but I didn't go check during the weekend. I was really good. And then I did see some Netflix with Manuel. So, but I got a lot done compared to normal on the weekend, even though it wasn't my usual stuff. It was different. So then I is for insight as to how did it go, kind of an after action report, what became clear. So I wrote down right at the top, no screens next time. Yeah, because I could feel myself making a workaround, reading Substacks. That's still quite a bit of content, even though I'm not seeing it visually. And if something earth-shattering happened, I guarantee I'd find out. Someone would say something to me. Manuel would say something to me. It would come across his screen in some way or another, even on his limited, what he's doing for screens. So, and then I put, I put TV, computer, phone. So next time I'd like to try that kind of experiment. I truly missed the videos at first. It certainly seems to be kind of a YouTube addiction or overdependence on it. And then I put question mark, is it doom scrolling? And part of it is, but part of it is also great interest in many, many topics. So that was interesting. I almost felt like the 2 days wasn't quite enough. And yet it certainly helped me to realize how much my finger started to click on either Instagram or YouTube. I had to stay off Instagram too because there's so many little videos that pop up on Instagram now. It didn't used to be like that, but so I would have wound up in almost the same thing, only a mini version of it if I had gone on Instagram. So I didn't do it during the weekend. So then the N in dopamine is next steps, goals, plan after the dopamine fast. Okay. So whether you're going to stay off of the thing or you're going to have controlled consumption is her word. That's her words, not mine. But okay, so then I put next steps or plan. I said, wow, that was a quick jump up that Coco did. He just scrambled up to the cat tree there. Sundays are already a very low intake content day for me. I'd like to have 2 days a week minimum. Yeah, and Saturday, it turns out Saturday is a day where I've got a couple creators that I look forward to their releases, like Wasky Squirrel, and also Anna, a girl that I follow. She also, I have her on Patreon, so I miss seeing hers and Wasky's. I have like a pattern. There are like 3 videos that I watch every Saturday morning, and those are not, let's see, well, there would be a 4th one that would be political, but no politics involved in that. Coco, what's the matter? Oh my, he's just jumping up on there. I noticed they were all having the zoomies earlier, running around. It got cooler here, so yeah, I'm thinking that I could choose another day in the middle of the week where it would be just a 1-day retreat. And if I do my video, then the next day I could be, away, and I wouldn't even notice it for my own, for creating, because I don't want to cut off my own creating and stuff. Anyway, and then last is experiment. Carry out your plans, and whatever you said your next steps were going to be, and put some controls in place. So I just jotted down on that one, ways to succeed, in other words, whatever you plan to do, which, like I said, I'm thinking 2 days a week, maybe not back to back, but separated. Sunday is a good day for me to just, stay away from news and politics anyway. It's probably a lower day anyway, and it's a good day to just stay away from it completely. And I'm not, when I say news, I don't mean mainstream news. I do mean my my people, that I follow. And so, I'm using that term kind of loosely. So I put in that my control, or my way, she calls it self-binding, would be, to tell my friends. And I did. I told my friend that I text with every day, I'm doing this. And so it was sort of like, I know I'm going to be accountable. I know. And I knew my counselor knew what I was doing too. So that's where I've been for the last couple of days, which is kind of unusual to not, be on YouTube like that. But one of the good effects of it was that I'm almost caught up with my letter writing, and I've had quite a few come in, and I think I've only got 4 in my reply pile right now. We haven't gotten mail yet for today, but so I've been doing writing one letter a day not for NaNoWriMo per se, but just to keep up with my pen pals and everything. So that was my number 2 thing. Oh, and then I already said I answered the backlog of comments, so there may be a few more now, but I'll check in with those later. So one of the other things I was going to mention before I get to my big story, my cat story, is that our weather also has been like from cold to really hot, and really hot for a long time. Like, for a couple of weeks we've been hot, like between 80 and 90. So it's affected me, it's affected the cats. It's like, how do you dress? What do you, which projects are going to appeal to you the most depending on the weather. So it's been wild, and yet it's always mild in South Texas in the summer, winter. In the summer, it's not mild, it's hot, blazing hot, but okay, so then the other thing I wanted to talk about was it's now been 2 full weeks. We're into week 3 of Toby and Princess staying indoors. And I'm just so pleased at their adjustment. And so I don't remember, I know I've told some individually of my friends, my pen pals, about this, but I can't remember if I even mentioned it on a video. So I'll just repeat the story if I've already told it. Which one Sunday, 2 weeks from yesterday, backwards there, I had a terrible scare with Toby, and had gone out with him and everything, and then come back in and trying to make it short because I feel like I already have talked about it a little. And then his paws were bloody, and he was out on the back porch, and I brought him in, and oh dear, it was just awful. Cleaned him all up, and he threw up his breakfast, and I forgot to say that an orange cat that we kind of keep our eye on ran off. He's a problem cat. He causes problems in the neighborhood. And I thought Toby was injured, but we cleaned him all up. And I could not find anything. So he must have, I found a couple scratches on his stomach. And so, but they weren't really bad, thank God. They weren't deep or anything, and I cleaned him up, I treated him, and I couldn't find anything why he had it on his paws. So the only thing I can think of is the cat got him down, and he, defensively clawed his way out of that. He was kind of shaky, and his hair was standing up, but, So anyway, Princess had already come in that day, and I thought it was weird because she stays out. She stays away from all other cats. She doesn't, I've never had a problem with her. And yet I've always said to Manuel, I'm not going to let one out and the other one can't. They both were street cats that we adopted and got their shots and made sure they got their, spay and neuter and all of that. I don't want one to be allowed out and the other one has to watch her from the window. It doesn't make sense. And I've never really wanted them to be outside because it worries me, even though I know they love to be out there. Anyway, it has been such a joy to see them adjust because they kind of go to the door, but the main thing for them seems to be looking out. And I have just really increased all of the window. I already had 5 places, but now I bring a chair to the front, right in front of the door, and it has like a glass door window. And when it's anywhere near where I don't have to have heat or cool, air conditioning or heat, I open the back door while I'm home and let them have just the screen, and they seem to love that too. It just amazes me because I thought that it might not work out. I thought that they might really start screaming and, trying to get out the door, and it just hasn't been like that. So it's a relief to me. I no longer have any judgment about anyone who has indoor-outdoor cats because what I have learned is that sometimes that's how they come to you. And it's a choice between turning your back completely if you're just against, letting them be outside, or, it becomes really, really hard. How do you fit in with how can you do that, I'm pretty sure after I had that year where I lost the 3 senior cats, over the course of a year, all my senior cats passed away from different causes in a very short amount of time. It was so devastating that I kind of realized they were all 3 indoor cats, because this was all before Willie. I mean, Willie's the youngest cat we ever lost, and he was totally separate from that. So, I got to where I realized I wasn't going to judge myself, or, if that's how they needed to live, is going out. And little by little, they had started just being inside more, but then it got cold, so they were inside quite a bit more. And then after this incident, I believe they still see him, because I've seen Toby run from window to window to window, and that he's tracking something. And so I'm like, and I always tell him there's a monster out there, so it's good that you're inside. And he just has been so good, And actually it's good for Coco. He's over there in the window listening to me. He runs around and plays with them more. He's adjusted more to having them in his space. So even though it's gone so well, I have spent quite a bit more time, thinking through playing with them and making the environment better for them so that they would not have such a traumatic excuse me, transition, you know. Talking too fast and getting too excited, but whew, now I'm sweating. And I wasn't. It's been really cool today. So, oh my, that's everything I wrote down. But I just, you know, I felt like doing an update to kind of break the ice, get back in here. And also I was going to say, I am putting in this Graphilo notebook the Tom Studio inks that I'm working with this month. And so I'm doing that. And that'll be part of the progress report. They're just beautiful, and this paper is gorgeous. It really, really, really captures the inks so nicely, and there's no bleed back through. You get just a little bit of shadowing, like where all that splattering of the purple is. You can barely see it. So I'm really impressed with the paper, and I had a recent contribution of 3 more of these. And thank you. You know who you are, and thank you so much. And letter is on the way. But this paper is really become my go-to paper. It's so nice. I think that's pretty much everything. That's what, it does feel a little bit weird because it's totally off topic almost. And I'm not, you know, it's not associated with a video. So it's like, okay. But I thought, well, it's all good. I mean, it seems like it's all positive stuff because, you know, we're both really better from being sick. The cats are all inside, which is wonderful. And I think that little experiment really did help me. It showed me that I could take control of my screen time. I could stop being out of balance, you know. And I felt kind of like, well, 2 days, you know, 2 days and I was still reading a couple Substacks, but that's okay. It does not have to be so, you know, all or nothing, black and white, and I got to work on that. So I will most likely return to my old process of Sundays. I just don't do as much online, hardly any. It just feels more natural that way. There's always something that Manuel and I do together, and it just feels, and it's a day that I call my mother too, so it's more of a family day, I guess. Okay, so I think I'm not trying to stretch this out. There's no need of that. Oh, there was one thing. I don't think I mentioned this before. If I did, well, it's going to be redundant. But I got this for Christmas, this book by Richard Binder. It's War and the Fountain Pen. A tale of 2 world wars and how they affected the lowly fountain pen, and of 2 pens those world wars helped to create. Oh gosh, this is a wonderful book. It's got really neat, you know, illustrations and photos, and it's just wonderful. I'm really enjoying it. And so I will be doing like a book, what am I calling them? Book report on this. And then I got another book. It's really huge. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can do that without. This was sent to me by a pen friend, and it's Collectible Fountain Pens. It's a wonderful book. It's got all kinds of, you know the stuff that they use to advertise the pens, and it's like the Bible, I guess, of pens. It's wonderful. You know, and so it identifies a whole bunch of fountain pens and things, and also, you know, shows you all these, like, the ads that were shown, you know, the graduation gift, all that kind of thing. So I'm really excited about this too. And I put it up here because I need to keep it with the other larger books so it doesn't get all like bent and everything. So there are lots of other books and unrelated things that I'm doing, but I won't keep you. I just wanted to give you an update on what I was doing. And, you know, if you are struggling with balance or over scrolling or doom scrolling or whatever, streaming, you know, then I do highly recommend that book, Dopamine Nation. It's back here behind me somewhere. I just saw it because I was trying to get her name right. Here it is. And I think, oh, I don't know. Did I do a book report? I'm at the point now where I don't remember all of the things that I've ever done a video on, but I definitely talked about this one. And it's good. It's really good. So, but just using her process, you know, that begins with each letter of the word dopamine has helped me so much because it makes me kind of like focus on it and see, And obviously, you know, one of the things that I did, said I was going to end, and now here I go. What I realized during the weekend was I have a lot of questions, but I should write them down. And I shouldn't just go wandering into YouTube without a plan, you know, without a search, a specific search in my notebook with me, because the algorithm takes you and just like, it takes over, but you can be in control. And so you can be looking, if you're looking for a specific thing, and also it's not all on YouTube. There are other places to research. So that's what I was realizing was I need to get to the heart of the things that I don't understand, and I need to do my own research, like in a way that isn't quite so loose and, you know, next video and what comes up under one thing might not have even been my idea, you know, to look at. So, you know, that helped me too, those realizations. And, I'll let you know if I try it again. I'll try to do that on the front end so that you'll know where I went. Like I didn't just disappear, poof, you know. Like I have one where I just answered a direct message on Instagram, one of my pen friends, and I thought, oh no, I was avoiding Instagram, you know, but there was a package that arrived. So anyway, tried to make that right, and now they'll understand what I was up to. So, but next time I'll make like a little community tab or whatever it is, whatever they're calling it now. I think they're calling it posts instead of, one day I looked for community under my channel. I couldn't find it. I thought they'd taken it away from me, but I think it's called posts now or something. It is different, but okay. I'm going to go and check and see what Coco is doing over there. And I will see you on the next video, which probably will be the progress report, telling you how all those 9 pens are going and looking into the ink journals. But there's a lot of other ideas churning around here too. So I'll see you soon, and I hope you're doing well. I hope winter is being kind to you and not too severe. Oh, I've seen all the storms up north, and it just kind of looks like a lot to deal with. So hopefully you're staying safe and happy and healthy and all of that. So I'll see you next time. Bye for now.